Well, hello. And today is the 29th of January, 2024. And I was just reflecting on the fact that back in January 2020, which is 4 years ago already, I was in the midst of my obsession with lapel microphones, and I had started recording some of my trips to and from the Connemara on my old Lenny phone, using one of the many little lapel things I bought. And that was the beginning really of the audio files, which I'm still doing today. But it's funny to think that was 4 years ago already. We're getting to the end of January now. I have my MRI scan tomorrow, and as always I'm a little bit nervous about that whole process, because I have to figure out how to use inserting information into the machine when I get there, which always bothers me, and then the amount of time you spend inside this thing is quite long, always longer than I think, and I do get a bit twitchy toward the end of it, but that'll be done, and then it's only a matter of going to see Dr. Meshi in Nice, which is a whole day. Then at least I should be finished with all that business for 6 months. I was also managed to go to gov.uk, and I managed to find my pension. That's something I wouldn't have thought I would have been able to figure out, but managed to get my pension contributions, and at the moment I'm looking at £120 a week. That's no good. If I top up and spend something like €800 a year for the next, well, maybe a bit more than 800, maybe 1,000 a year for the next 10 years, then my pension will go up to £200 a week, which is sounding a little bit better. That would be about €860 a month, perhaps. And it is incredibly strange to be doing this work on a pension. For me, it's weird, because I don't feel in the slightest bit a pensioner. But I'm entitled to that pension in 9 years' time. 9 years. Yeah, it's weird. I am at the moment on my mind. What's on my mind at the moment? Well, I'm having a kind of an obsessional interest in cassette recorders, Walkmans, trying to fix dodgy cassettes, and I am at the moment trying to sell a crappy little cassette recorder that I bought it on eBay for €15, but I got a refund from the guy, because when I tried it first I was under the impression it really was faulty. Now I don't know if it's faulty, it's crap, but I'm trying to open some kind of a business on eBay and try and sell lots of stuff. We've got so much stuff lying around, and this is one of my first things. And I have put in the description that the sound quality is terrible. I should have probably also put that a damn thing doesn't go forward and backward on lots of tapes. But yeah, I'm apprehensive about selling it. I don't know if I'm going to end up in a situation where someone is going to just go, this doesn't work at all, it doesn't rewind, it doesn't go forward, the sound is hardly, and they're going to want me to send them a refund, and I'll end up losing money on the thing. I guess I can't lose that much if they pay me. It's not a good item to start off your eBay thing because it's a dodgy thing. But now I'm worried about the rewind and forward. I may leave a little note about that as well. I also was trying to find a way of uploading a little video to eBay showing the thing plugged into a speaker, and that's driving me nuts because I can't find how to do it. I've been looking at tutorials and how-tos, and I just can't find the fucking the way of doing it. All it seems to allow me to upload is pictures, photos. Anyway, this is all nonsense. The next time I upload something on this device, all that nonsense will be way down the fucking river. But it's irritating me today. Simple things, they get under my skin. That's a good way of putting it. Kind of under your skin, they annoy you. But besides that, we're back in business in the Connemara. We were busy Friday and Saturday. I mean 700 plus busy. Flo was saying stuff to me which I found quite encouraging. It was her kind of coming around to perhaps the idea that the Connemara is not a bad way to earn some money, and that perhaps she could adapt it more into her yoga. So if she really needs to go for a weekend, then she goes for any weekend she wants. This is good for me as well, because I could carry on trying to do my eBay stuff or Le Bon Quoi stuff when I'm away, you know. And she could basically do, her yoga would take precedence. And even if it means sometimes we just open up, 3 days a week maybe, I was trying to say to her, 3 days is, we could still earn some money. It's good to have some money coming in rather than nothing. She was talking about the river changing its path. I don't know what she means. Flo, the river looks the same as it always did. Pretty healthy looking river. And yeah, I have always been fond of the idea of keeping the Connemara going, unless obviously a decent buyer comes along. But if not, even if it's 3 days, and even if Flo wants to go off every third weekend, and even if she wants to take 2 months off at some point, I was saying during the course of the year, even with those limited hours, we would be doing better than if we were not bringing in any money at all. And she seemed to come around to that way of thinking a little bit, but that changes depending on the day and the week and how she feels and what happens in the Connemara. It's been a difficult return to the Connemara with all the electricity going, and that stupid fucking SFR with their phone problems non-stop. But we seem to be back in working order now. except one of the creps stopped fucking working. We've got two. The two we bought, I tell you, they better not stop working. It's when things like that happen that even I sometimes feel like just walking away at that point, saying, fuck this, I can't be bothered anymore with all this stuff breaking down, and let's call it a day. But you can't be like that. You've got to think of the money. That's what I said to Flo. It's the only thing I think about in that place. I don't care about anything in it. All I want is that at the end of the day, there is some money going into our bank. That's really all it is. I'm going to the river. I saw some smoke coming from this direction earlier. I hope I'm not going to stumble into a campsite. I felt it as well, the smoke. It could be from miles away. Anyway, I don't think there's much more to say. The crypto market went up a little bit. Bitcoin got up to around 40. The ETFs were approved, and it was going to be the beginning of magic times, because ETFs, big business, all of a sudden all of these big investment firms were going to be jumping on the bandwagon, and they were all going to buy millions of Bitcoin. But what happened? The ETFs were approved, and then Bitcoin dropped by 15%. And since then, it's kind of stabilized, but nothing's happened. So we got back to around 55,000 at the height of the market over the last couple of weeks. Our investment is 54. We were at around 55. So we could have probably taken everything out and broke even, but I don't want to do that. And that's it. That is it. I think 12 minutes. I should sign off.